What is good people? You are now listening to another episode of A Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth. Good to be back in the building with you again. Spring is here, pollen is falling. Took some time this morning to clear out my flower bed and getting everything prepared to lay down some new mulch. And yeah, this is my time to shine right here. I'm looking forward to improving the front yard, make it do what it do. But I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations to the good brother, my brother in potting, the great Brandon Silvers. Man, him and his lady Erin are expecting a bundle of joy. And I went over to their house to celebrate with a bunch of their close friends for their baby shower. Man, that was a great time. Got to meet some people that he had on this podcast that I'd never met before. Shout out to the good brother Brett Gosnell. He's been on my At the Plate podcast a couple of times, doing MLB preview and end of the year episodes. And he's actually going to be on in a couple of weeks on At the Plate. So stay tuned for that one. And then also, I got to meet his mom. As soon as she saw me walking through the house, she goes, "Is that Danny?" She's like, you always on my son's podcast. I love y'all's episodes. I'm like, wow. Again, you never really know who's watching. And then another good guest that Brandon had was Coach Herbert Johnson. He was a track coach at Burke High School. He actually was Raven Saunders' track coach when she went to the Olympics. So that was super special. And getting to meet him and shake his hand. And he was like, wait a minute. I seen you was on Brandon's podcast. And I said the same thing. Now I was like, wait a minute. I seen you on Brandon's podcast. And man, we had such a great conversation. It was an awesome day. Super awesome day. So again, congrats to Brandon and Erin. Much love to y'all. And the vibes were great. The food was fantastic. And speaking of food, we're going to get into sniffing some candles. So these two candles I actually went back to Dollar General because just looking at the presentation of the candles, they were calling me. So I answered that call. So the first one we're going to do the non-food and beverage scented candle. So this one is Cozy Place. This is a mahogany and driftwood scented candle. They got the little fancy accent over the O. So I'm gonna peel the packaging off. This one is 2 wicks. Both of these candles were $5. So I'm gonna take a sniff. I definitely smell the teak wood in this. Teak wood is definitely the biggest notes in this candle. I like this one. This one has a really good clean smell to it. The sage leaf, got the rich mahogany, great blend. And for $5, it's a great bang for your buck. So yeah, Dollar General gets a passing grade on this one. So shout out to them. And then the next thing I want to talk about is last weekend, my homie Rick, him and his crew, him and his wife, and shout out to the homies Trevor and my dog Ty Will and the rest of the crew. They always come down from Atlanta, and I think there's 1 or 2 other people that come down from Charlotte. And they always meet up at the Charleston Wine and Food Festival every year. And they usually come down on Thursdays, and they spend their time on Thursday and Friday going to the Wine and Food Festival. And then on Saturday, I meet up with them. And we do something called, basically it's like a pub crawl. So we'll start on King Street and we'll just go from bar to bar. Even though I don't drink, I like to still participate in the festivities because it's always a lot of fun. You know, it's once a year. Got to meet up with your folks. And we just went from bar to bar to bar. And that was real cool. Actually set foot in some bars that I'd never set foot in. Just getting out of my comfort zone, going to new places. And then after we finished the bar crawl, Rick and we went to the Brick down on right off of Ann Street. And they had a big screen for us to watch the game. And it was funny, actually, when Rick and I walked in there was the literal Duke University chorus was sitting there. I think they had some kind of event that they were performing at in Charleston that day. And they were probably 30, 40 deep. And we were super outnumbered in that building. But yeah, Rick was raising some hell, which was it's always fun watching him, just seeing those visceral reactions to what UNC does, good or bad. But we got our ass whooped, and that's that. You know, that's the way the game goes sometimes. And then after the game, we went back to the Airbnb and hung out, watched some basketball, and God bless whoever brought the Buc-ee's beaver nuggets along for the ride, because those things are so good. They're so good. And then Sunday, they packed the stuff up and they headed on back to Atlanta and Charlotte. So again, shout out to Rick and the rest of the crew. I cannot wait to do it again with y'all next year. And having said that, we're going to get into our next candle. So this candle is also from the Cozy Place brand. This one is whipped caramel and bourbon. Syndicate. Oh, it's actually 2 candles. I thought it was just one wide candle. Wait a minute. Let me tear the packaging up. Yeah, it is 2 candles. And both of them are 1 wick. And man, gosh, I didn't even have to put this candle up to my nose to already get the essence of the candied caramel and butterscotch. I tell you what, man, this one here, this smells damn near identical to a Werther's original. It's like the more I smell it, the more I need to get some prescription glasses and a Reader's Digest and just like sit and watch The Price is Right. Man, this one, golly, yeah, I'm gonna have some fun lighting this one up in the house for the next few days. Yeah, this one here, I mean, it's almost identical to Werther's original. This one here definitely gets a passing grade. So yeah, I'm 2 for 2 on this episode. So yeah, good. Shout out to Dollar General, Cozy Place, the Cozy Place brand. So again, shout out to Dollar General. And the last thing I want to say, I mean, it's no real big message, no real moral of the story type vibe. I would just a food recommendation, or like a something you would add to your food to make it better. I made some shrimp and grits a couple of weekends ago, and I had the wild notion to add some crab claw meat to it. And brother, that's going to be the standard operating procedure from now on. I cannot stress this enough. Add crab claw meat to your shrimp and grits. That thing will it will take your shrimp and grits to another level. I'm telling you. Please believe me when I tell you, add crab claw meat to your shrimp and grits. I cannot recommend this enough. I tried it once and I'm not looking back. That's going to be the move going forward. And yeah, that's it for this episode of A Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth. Make sure you like, download, and subscribe to A Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth. Tell a friend about the podcast. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find it at Danny Foxworth 843. There, you can find all of the videos for episodes of this podcast, as well as my 3 other podcasts. At the Plate with Danny Foxworth, which is a baseball podcast. I'll be ramping those episodes back up, being the baseball season is back in full swing, no pun intended. Then, Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth, and then my other podcast, Growing Up Low Country with Liz and Danny. So make sure you subscribe, and again, tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you so much for your eyes and your ears. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, y'all be good. Keep it lit.